Out of record heat and now tracking rain and snow in the forecast. I'm ABC10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. We're going to just do a complete turnaround from the forecast. Let's focus on those highs for today. They were record setters once again throughout much of the valley, including Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto. San Francisco finally starting to see some slightly cooler weather, and that's going to lead to some of the access that we'll get to that cooler air coming in from the Pacific. Here's a look at the rundown of records on Monday. The old record in downtown Sacramento, 100. Today, 101. Sacramento executives smashing the old record, hitting a high of 101. The old record, 97. Stockton, old record, 99. High today, 101. And from Modesto, beating that record by 3 degrees. Old record, 96. Today's high, 99. Other records that'll go down for this October heat. The most ever triple-digit days that we've seen in the month of October, 5. We hit that in 1980. Today, we tied that. The other record was 1987 at 4 days. And then the hottest October day, we hit that this year on October 3rd, last Thursday. The latest October 100-degree day, haven't quite hit that one yet. October 10th. That was back in 1991. So you can see the rundown that we have here for downtown Sacramento. The hottest day we had was last Thursday, 103. That is the hottest day on record for the month of October. But every day has been above average, with 5 of those days in the triple digits. Again, that's going to tie that 1980 record of most days in the month of hitting highs in the 100s. That'll also, with our high today at 101, get us up to 50 days this year up at 100 degrees or more in one calendar day. That's going to be a record, or one calendar year. That's going to be a record for us. The previous record, 44 days back in 2022. We averaged 24 days, so we doubled that this year. Most of those days hit in July. That's a month we kind of expect this triple-digit heat. Not necessarily this deep into the year, but we had 5 in October. September had 8, August 7, June 9. So all in all, it's been a year to remember. Here's a look at kind of the rundown of the excessive heat that we've had to deal with. Again, 50 days of 100-plus degree days on the calendar year. Average is 24. So again, we doubled that, more than doubled that. 105-plus degree days, 16. That was a record setter. The average is 6. And we also beat the record for how many days we had 110-plus degree temperatures. We maxed out at 5. We average 1. But now we're on the back edge of this. We've gotten through the thick of it, and now we are looking at some cooler air finally coming in, and the chance for rain as well. It'll be gradual cooling that we get through the week as that high pressure ridge starts to weaken. We've got a low that will move to the north of us, and that's going to initiate that onshore flow. So we really start shifting from those northwest winds into more of a southwest wind. That delivers that cooler punch of air. Now, we keep with the northwest winds through the early part of tomorrow, at least through the Central Valley, but we're starting to see access to that cooler Pacific air through Fairfield at about the noontime hour. Then this really ramps up and starts to press eastward throughout the valley, delivering, again, that cooler Pacific air. It stays with us into our Wednesday, so most of us finally starting to get access to that cooling breeze and temperatures that'll come down. Okay, let's talk about the chance for rain now. You can see we had some showers here throughout much of the Sierra over the past couple of days, really, and a bit of humidity also in the valley. It wasn't really super thick, but we saw a little bit of cloud cover and also the showers popping up in the Sierra, even a couple of isolated thunderstorms. But as we look out to the Pacific, we've got a couple of weather systems that we're going to be tracking. That first one, just enough to kind of knock down that high pressure ridge. We'll see some showers in the Pacific Northwest, but it kind of opens the door for this next one brewing way out in the Pacific. And you can see the water vapor really starting to transition here into a much more moist atmosphere, with our rain chances increasing as we head into the end of the work week and beginning of the weekend. It'll be interesting to see how that actually unfolds here. So here's what we know with moderate to high confidence. We'll get the cooler temperatures. We'll get more cloud cover later this week. and we'll have a chance for showers. Now, right now, it does look like it's going to be north of I-80. Where the confidence tends to be a bit lower is the location and the totals. That will come in a little bit more with a bit more clarity towards the end of the work week, say by about Thursday into Friday. But this is always with a bit of excitement, given that this is the beginning of the water year and we haven't seen a drop of rain since the beginning of October. So we're a little bit behind. Usually it takes a little bit of time to get the water cycle going here in California. But once it does so, we really start to pick up steam. So the first fall rain typically hits on October 7th with at least 1/10 of an inch or more. But the latest that we've actually seen the onset of that is December 11th on the record books there. The first day last year that we had at least 1/10 of an inch of rain was October 10th. It doesn't look like we're going to see that much rain with this system coming in, at least I-80 southward. You can see what I'm talking about, though. The average monthly rainfall, once we kind of open up the gate for some weather systems to come on through, it really ramps up here December, January, and February, where we see 50% of our annual precipitation. So it's a slow start usually to the year, and then things really start to kick into high gear December, January, and February. Now, I say usually because last year what happened is we got a really slow start to the water year. It didn't kick into high gear until mid-January, almost February, with some of the biggest totals that we saw for the year hitting in May. So it was a very odd year for us. The recent water years last year, a little bit below average, but given that the previous year was so far ahead of average, we could kind of take a little bit of a hit for downtown Sacramento. The rest of the state actually fared pretty nicely, with most folks above average. So our high pressure ridge starts to lose some steam here. I think everybody has been waiting for this. Finally, that low starting to come on in really shifts that storm track, moving its way southward. Here comes the precipitation again, a little early in the game for a precise location, duration, and totals. That will be coming into better clarity by the end of the week. So very likely warmer, though, on the outlook, even when we start to cool. Looks like the middle of October still on the warmer side, likely drier. But again, that's comparatively for averages. So likely drier than average, likely warmer than average. It doesn't look like we're going to see anything extreme. It's just not really looking like some really crisp, cool fall weather sticking around. Highs in the 70s for this year or tomorrow. We're knocking temperatures down a bit for the foothills into the 80s and 90s. Along the coast, we're seeing highs in the 70s. Once we head inland, we're still in the 90s. In some locations a little farther from that Delta breeze, we'll still be hitting highs close to 100. But we're starting to see that relief on the way. We'll stay in the 70s for this year, calling for more cloud cover, slight chance of showers coming in late Friday through Saturday. For the foothills, we'll see highs out of the 90s into the 70s for this second weekend of October. For the coast, highs dropping out of the 90s yesterday into the 60s Wednesday and Thursday. I look at the 3-day forecast. You can certainly see how temperatures are starting to cool back to near average. Normal highs are in the low 80s, and it looks like that's where we'll be at least Thursday through the beginning of next week. A little bit of warmth building in periodically there in the forecast. But overall, like I said, even if we're slightly above average, we're still not seeing much in the way of these extremes that we've been seeing recently. We'll continue with these in-depth forecasts, especially as our rain cycle starts in. That's on our ABC 10 Plus streaming app. Check it out. You can download it and watch for free.